We are live, and we are here to talk about a not so great game. Michigan loses to Duke 68-63. We're going to talk all about it. Michigan falls to 25-2, first loss, of course, since the Wisconsin game earlier this year. And this one is tough for a few reasons, right? They had so many chances. They played really solid defense. They had good energy. They wanted it, but the shots weren't falling. They shot very poorly. And sometimes they didn't play their offense. They didn't pass the ball around. They didn't move. They had a lot of possessions where they just dribbled down, took a shot, and then Duke got the rebound, because that was the problem. I talked about my keys to the game, and one of the big keys was two of them was slowing down Boozer, but not getting into foul trouble because of the aggressive style he plays with. And you need to win in the points in the paint and rebounding in the inside, because they're very good at it. We did not win either of those, and we had foul trouble, which hurt us, but we still had chances. They still could have won, but we just didn't shoot well. And I'm not I never say a team loses a game because of the refs, and I'm not going to say that here. Michigan didn't lose this game because of the refs, but it did the way the refs called the game. I'm not going to say they called it in Duke's favor. I think that's overstating. But I will say the way they called it, by not calling some things on Duke down low, it allowed Duke to play very aggressive and probably get away with some things. Michigan got away with some things too at times, but it did seem that Michigan, because of the way the game was called, they had to be much more perfect and be on in more areas, and they weren't. So did they lose the game because of the refs? No. But did it make it harder for them? Yes. But they lost because they could not control the boards, and they could not win in the paint, and they got big guys into foul trouble, and that ended up hurting them in the end. But like I said, they still had a shot. And something else I didn't like at the end, I will say, I'm glad they didn't count that last dunk, because that was a little unsportsmanlike, I think. Michigan is down 5, goes down, tries to hit a 3 to extend the game. They miss it. Duke gets the rebound. Michigan players give up. Duke throws it down, tries to fast break and dunk at the buzzer. Miss me with that stuff. I don't like that. Now, if you're blowing a team out and you got your scrubs in and they haven't never scored, I don't mind that. That's cool. But when it's a close, hard fought game and you got your starters in, don't be racing down the court to try to dunk it to pad the score. So I'm glad it didn't count. But if I were Dusty May, I would take that play at the end where they race down the court to try to rub it in, and I would replay that clip, before team meetings and stuff, and just say, you don't want to feel like this again. Let's learn from this. And that's what they'll do, and that's what they have to do, because this was a great test, a neutral environment, huge buildup against a top, number 3 team, very good team. Duke, flowers to them. They're a very good team. Boozer is amazing, and they're going to be trouble. But I hope Michigan gets them again in the turning, so we can come out triumphant this time. We're going to talk about all the things that went wrong, but that's how good this team is, talented-wise. To only lose by 5 is pretty impressive with some of the things that went wrong for them, and some of the players that didn't have good nights. We got quite a few people hopping in here. It's nice to see everybody. Goat, since Yost is here, what's up? Perfect loss to experience before March. Yep, doesn't bother me, but I'm not bothered either, because they played with a lot of heart, and you could tell they wanted it. You could tell it hurt when they lost, and they gave it their all. Sometimes the shots aren't going to fall, but they're going to have to learn from this. By some of the things that they did, their boxing out was not good. Boozer got around them way too easy, way too many times, not just on defense, but on offense. Too many second chance baskets for him. So they need to learn that. They got to learn, because I think they've been able, because of their length and size, they've been able to get rebounds without really like always putting in the dirty work of getting your butt back into a guy and boxing out. And they're gonna have to do that against some of these teams like Duke, because they're a very good rebounding team. So they gotta learn from that, and they gotta not get out of their game when things aren't going well. If they just, like I said, I'm not used to seeing this team dribble down and have the person who dribbled it down shoot up a shot that's not that great, and then they don't get the rebound and it's right back the other way. That happened a lot. But when they went on their runs, they were passing the ball, moving, and getting open shots. But they also missed a lot of open shots. So it was a bad shooting night. We'll look at that in a minute. But I'm with you, Goats. I mean, this doesn't hurt the Big Ten. Obviously, it's a non-conference game, and it's going to be a bummer hearing people talk about them being frauds and all that. But they just need to use it as fuel. But anybody saying Michigan's frauds for losing by 5 to the number 3 team in the country in a hard-fought game that was down to the wire, like, get out of here. Michigan proved, it'd been nice to win, but Michigan proved they belong. They've already proved that before this game, but they definitely still proved it tonight. And yeah, I agree. Dusty May, when you have a coach like Dusty May, you never feel too bad about losses, because he's going to get us right back where we need to be, and we'll learn from it. So yeah, a lot of things to learn from in this game, and a great environment against a great team. So I think it's going to be a good thing in the long run. Joe Blue is here. What's up? Sad loss. Rebounds. Yeah, rebounds were bad. Foul trouble. Tough officiating. It's all. Yep. When they cut it to 1, I had some hope. Me too. When Yaxel hit that 3. But yeah, they just. Yeah, and Ademar got the foul trouble. He had a couple ticky tack, and that's the thing. There was, and on both sides, there was some ticky tack fouls that they. But then there were some fouls where Michigan just got hacked and demolished, and they called nothing. The travel on Yaxel was a little rough on going for the loose ball. There was just some, but at the end of the day, Michigan still had chances and didn't capitalize on them, and that's why they lost. But it is nice in a big game like this if you could have better officiating overall. We've talked about it. It's just across all sports, it's just not consistent. It wasn't tonight, but it's not why they lost. They had their chances, and they didn't do what they needed to do. Ray is here. Win or lose, I still bleed maize and blue. Me too, Ray. Me too. I'm still happy. I mean, this team is good. They're going to learn from it. It was a tough game. We all knew it. So yeah, we'll look at the stats here. We'll break it down in a minute. But before I do that, a lot of you were here on the last live stream we did after Purdue. And I had mentioned that if I get 1,000 subscribers, I will dye my beard maize and blue. So I started mentioning that in my videos, and we've gotten quite a few subscribers over the last couple videos. So if you're watching this and you are not subscribed, consider subscribing. Let's get to that 1,000. We're almost to 700. And if you are subscribed, I appreciate you. Make sure to hit the like button, share, let people know about the Maize and Bluebeard podcast community and what we're growing here. All right, so let's take a look at the stats. Let's dive in, shall we? All right, so we'll look at team stats first. Let me pull it up here. There we go. Okay. So let me go to my window so I can see it better. So we shot horrendously, yes, 40% from 3-point, or 40% from the field, which is not great. And Duke didn't shoot lights out because our defense was good. We did make it tough for them, but they shot better than us. And then 3-point, we didn't shoot good, 24%. Free throws we missed. We've got to get that free throw percentage consistently above 80%, especially in games like this. I mean, that's 5 points, and we lost by 5 points. You hit your free throws, it's a different game at the end there. Maybe we're going for a 2-point bucket for the win or to tie it. Who knows? You make your free throws, things are different. But rebounds were the story. We got out rebound and out hustled a lot for rebounds. A lot of standing, waiting for rebounds, not boxing out. And Boozer is very good. He's really good all around. He's a great player, but he's good at moving without the ball to get rebounds. He's always just crashing the boards, but doing it in a controlled way. And I was impressed. But at some point you got to realize that and look for number 12. Where's he at? Somebody's got to get a body on him, And there's too many times they got offensive chance after offensive chance. Sometimes they got 3-pointers out of those second chance possessions, and then other times they got twos or we got a foul call on us, and it just killed us. And then we'd come down and take a bad shot, and they'd get the rebound. You go right back. We had that stretch where we're down like 5 or 7 for so long. We just couldn't get over that hump because we would miss a shot, they'd get the rebound, they'd go down, miss a shot, but they'd get 3 or 4 rebounds, and then you're milking so much clock when they have possession after possession, and then they end up scoring, and it's just backbreaking. So rebounds were a big concern for me, and it went, unfortunately, the way that I hoped it wouldn't. So that's something we got to clean up. We did keep the turnovers down. We only had 7. We had less than them, so that was good. I was worried about that, but we actually did pretty good on that. We held them to less fast break points. That's another thing I was worried about, but we did good there. Points in the paint. A lot of this probably comes from foul trouble. We didn't have our bigs, our starting bigs, playing that much down the stretch, so that was unfortunate. Those were the 2 big things you got to do if you're going to beat Duke. You can let maybe Boozer goes off, but if you can win points in the paint and out rebound them, you have a pretty good chance. And we didn't do either one. And we still only lost by 5, which is pretty impressive. But they led most of the game, and no lead was double digits for either team. It was a good game. 2 really good teams, but it's just a bummer because it was there. As bad as we played, we still had shots down the stretch, just couldn't make them, and we'll have to learn from that. So let's check the box score. So our leading scorer was Yaxel. He had a good game, 21 points. Nobody shot great from 3, but he did make 3 of them, so he made the most. But he had a solid game. He played hard. I was happy with how he played. Morris Johnson, his usual. It would have been nice to see him get more rebounds. He only had 6, but we just got beat up on the rebounding end for sure. What do you do? It is what it is. I'm trying to check my. Let's see. We got some more people popping in here. I'm going to check the comments for a second. Then I'll go back to box score. I'm going to skip down. I'm going to come back to you awesome Michigan fans in a minute, but I'm going to skip down to my friend from Duke here, John Edward Kruger. We're definitely not coping, my friend. You guys have a good team. You won. You won fair and square. Boozer's awesome. I'm not coping. I'm just talking about the game. I'm saying Michigan played hard. Michigan played with good energy, but we sucked at shooting. We sucked at rebounding, and we got to clean it up. But we're still a good team. So we'll see you in the tournament, hopefully. So I don't know. Maybe some other people are coping, but here we're realistic. We know we have a good team, but tonight wasn't our night. So congrats to you. Let's see. And we're going to learn from it. All right. The real Pepe Sylvia, my friend. How are you doing? This is one of my bookish friends. Pepe not approved. Yeah. Michigan losing. I do not approve of this either. All right. Let me go back up here so I don't miss anybody. We got Travis Scott is here. What's up? Yeah, Cadeau did have a rough night. Only 2 points up until the 5-minute mark. I would have had played Kaysen in the second half. Yeah, I mean, Kaysen was getting in the paint and scoring. I think Dusty was probably trying to stick with the little more veteran presence and hoping Cadeau could run the offense and get things going. But I'm with you. It was rough. It was rough all around. Oh, yeah. We didn't have a great night from the point guards, but yeah, it did seem like Kaysen maybe had a little more pop tonight. So maybe that would have made a difference, but it's hard to know. But I'm with you. Bam, what's up, Bam? Thanks for being here, man. What's up? I'm doing all right. We're hanging in there. Tough loss, but we'll learn from it. And it doesn't really hurt the Big Ten race, so that's good too. Let's see. And yeah, I'm with you there, Travis. We're definitely not coping. Lost a close game. It was a great game and great learning experience. And Duke earned it, man. They're a good team. They did the things that I said Michigan has to stop them from doing to win, and they won. So flowers given. All right. I think I got everybody that had left a comment so far. So let's get back to let's look at the box score again here. Let me get down the rest of it. Ade Mara had some foul trouble. He did not play much in the second half, which is a bummer. So that he would have been helpful to have. And yeah, Cadeau played a lot of minutes, but just until the end there. I mean, he went 1 for 8 from the floor. He made his free throws, which was good, and he didn't turn the ball over much. But yeah, just not a great night. But Burnett probably had his worst game he's had for a while. Um, which was a bummer because when he's having a decent night, that helps us out too. Cheddar hasn't done much for a while. He's on a rough stretch. But yeah, Kaysen had looked good when he came in. I'm with you. I probably would have just ran with him down the stretch because he was getting into the paint, but that wasn't what Dusty May did, and I trust Dusty May, so we'll see how it goes. Roddy Gale had some good energy as always. He was good. Trey McKinney had an off night. Not usual for him. He's usually a really good shooter, but everybody just shot bad. I don't know. I don't know what it was. The nerves, the defense of Duke, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we had some wide open shots we missed too. So it's just not a good shooting night. And then of course for Duke, they held Boozer in check points wise, but he's just so good. I mean, so a bunch of rebounds. He was just all over the place. So it's just tough. Whoa. My dog's tail just almost opened the door into my office. So yeah, it just was what it was. It just was not Michigan's night. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule quick, and then I'll come back on full size. So let me share this instead. So we just lost to Duke there, and we got 4 games left. We got Minnesota Tuesday night at the Chrysler Center. That one's always Minnesota's not great, but they have knocked off some good teams. So Michigan's going to have to not have a hangover here, and we're going to have to come ready to play. And then they got some big games at Illinois. That's a huge one. At Iowa is always tough. Iowa's a good team, and playing at Iowa is hard. And then we close it up with Michigan State. So some really tough games down the stretch, but they just need to shake this one off and get back to it, do their thing, finish strong, and we'll be in really good shape heading into the Big Ten tourney and the NCAA tournament. So there we go. Let's see. We had some more people pop in here. I think I got, yeah. All right, so Brian's here. What's up, Brian? Thanks for being here, man. 2 things. One of the worst officiating games I've seen, mostly against Michigan and some on Duke. Michigan is clearly not the best team in the nation. Boozer on bench over 3 minutes. Yeah. Tonight, Michigan was not the better team. That is true. But it will remain to be seen if we will be. We have the potential to be the best team in the nation, but we're not going to be on Monday. It's going to be Duke because Houston lost to Arizona. So it'll be interesting to see if we're 2 or 3. If Arizona jumps us or not, that'll be interesting. But yeah, Duke's going to be number 1 come Monday for sure. And yeah, the officiating has just not been great all year across the board in all sports, but they were a little quicker on the whistle for certain things for Duke on Michigan than they were for Duke. But Michigan had chances and didn't get it done. Let's see. Bam. In the Purdue post game, I asked you what the game plan should be. They did everything you said not to do. Yeah, I know. But what do you do? They did keep their turnovers down, so that was good. Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard to tell. As of right now, as of today, no, because Duke proved they're better tonight. Just by on the court, and we got some stuff to do. But we are a very good team, and we'll see. I think we'll learn from this, and we won't let it happen again. We won't lose this way again. And Michigan's been very good about learning from their mistakes. They haven't had a team go off on them like Wisconsin did with all the threes. They've played better perimeter defense. So now they're gonna have to learn about rebounding and be like, we got to box out. We got to get a body on everybody. We can't let somebody fly around us all the time and get every rebound like that. Well, it depends. It depends on if the two best teams make it to the end. If they get upset, then then that is sometimes true. But we'll see. Let's see. No matter what, there's 4 number one seeds, so we're still probably going to be playing. Yeah, we should get the number one. We should still get a number one seed. If we win the rest of our games and win the Big Ten, we're definitely getting a number one seed. Um, Here we go. Make no mistake, AZ. Still, the Arizona's very good. They had a rough week last week, and they came back. They came back strong. Uh, they came back strong and beat Houston. That was a great win. Hey, enjoy it, man. You had a great win, and we lost. So I'm not even going to say anything. Enjoy it. Your team earned the right for you to talk a little trash. So congrats. Let's see. Because Duke was a better team tonight doesn't mean Duke. That's true, because Michigan's going to beat them if they play them in the tournament. Yeah, last week was not Arizona's week, but it's sports is always what have you done for me lately, right? Dusty will make this a teaching curve. Yes, he will definitely help them learn. He's gonna they're gonna break down film, and there's a lot of ugly film to show them. Hey, look at this. This was not good. We need to work on rebounding. Trying to see how things are looking with my I don't know if it's my YouTube app on my phone over here, but is not working. But you guys are here, so obviously the stream is working. Oh yeah, now it's working. I just had to refresh, go back in. Okay, sorry. All right. Honestly, I think Michigan needed this. Nothing wrong with getting humbled right before March. I feel this also will be more beneficial. Losing a tough game like this, a heartbreaker. Definitely. I mean, I know that's like a cliche thing to say, like we needed this loss, but I'll say that it can be beneficial in seeing what they're made of now, seeing if they can overcome this loss, overcome the hurt. Because I mean, when you go out on a game like this, a game that's been talked about all week, 1 versus 3, neutral site. ESPN talked about it all day long. Everybody's hyped for it. You lay it all out on the line and you come up short. That hurts you. I mean, you got to remember these are young men who are in their late teens, early 20s. Um, it's gonna hurt for a while, and it'll be really interesting to see what this team does with this, because this one hurts more than the Wisconsin game. Obviously, the Wisconsin game was a surprise, and it was like, oh, that sucks. But it was early on in the season. You have a lot of season left, but now this one hurts because it was so in the spotlight. A tournament tourney, Final Four possibility preview, and everybody's talking about it. It hurts when you get pumped up for a game and you lose. So I think it'll be very interesting how they come back, and I can't wait to see how they recover and respond against Minnesota on Tuesday night. Yep, last time they got humbled, they came back hard, and I think they will this time. This team is resilient, and they're just so talented. They'll learn from this and they'll clean it up. And I think, yeah, Dusty May is gonna have some plans. He's gonna have some plans for not getting into foul trouble when you play somebody like Boozer. And also rebounding. I was just surprised sometimes to see them not box out, especially after Boozer did it to them over and over again. And you would still see him just sneak his way around them over and over again. Now, I will say I didn't get to watch every play of the game because, as you guys remember, those of you that are subscribers and have been in these live chats, today was me and my wife's 17-year anniversary. So while she was getting ready, we went to a late dinner. So I did watch most of the first half, and then at where we went for dinner, I sat where I could just barely see a TV, but I kind of had to lean, and I tried to like focus on what she was saying, but just sneak every once in a while. And then I did kind of listen to the rest of the game on the way home at the end of the game. So I mean, I missed some things. So there probably were some bad things that didn't go Michigan's way that I missed, but I got to watch most of it, and I saw enough to see what the problem was. And looking at the stats, it's pretty clear that they did not get it done on the inside, and that was the biggest thing. Because like we talked about before, and I've talked about this with Brian, who's in here too, is a good player like Boozer, you can let him go off a little in points, but if you're out rebounding, if you're holding him in check rebounding, like in not in the point totals, but if you're holding him in check rebounding and um, you're making him take some longer shots, or you're shutting down everyone else in the paint, and you score more than they do in the paint, you're going to be in pretty good shape. But they didn't do those things. They let him have a decent game on offense. They did play tough because he only got 18 points, but they just rebounding and inside, man. Whew. Um, yeah, yeah, and I mean he is very good, but I mean clearly Duke has other good players too. But it's the problem was we just had a terrible shooting night. So even though we were probably had a chance to get the edge rebounding a little bit while he was out, we just I don't know. I kind of want to go back and watch some old games and see if it was just a tonight problem, or if Michigan has been that bad at boxing out in other games and it just didn't bite us in the butt like it did here. Um, but yeah, there was some. It was just a bad game all around. But I'm I've been told I'm too optimistic at times and too positive, but I do think that Michigan is going to be just fine. Now, if they had gotten skunked tonight, if we had gotten completely blown out of the water, I would be concerned. Yeah, that goaltending. That's what I was just thinking in my head, Ray, when I was like, some things. That is one that was like, meh. Uh, yes. Oh man, I know it's yeah. There was a few one bad ones like that. But yeah, I would kind of want to know if their boxing out has been that bad. But I think they were just off their game, and I'm not sure. I don't like that some of the players, so many of our players, were just a little off tonight, and who knows? I don't know if it's the big stage, the way Duke played, the way the game was being officiated that got in their head. I'm not sure, but a lot of them were just off, and I don't like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I trust Dusty May, and I really love this team. Um, they win together, they lose together, and they believe in each other. And I think they're going to come out strong and finish on fire, and they're going to be ready when they play Duke again. If we meet again in the tourney, they're going to be ready. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. It's a bummer. We're not used to this feeling. We only felt it once, and we weren't all. I think when Michigan lost to Wisconsin, I had either just started the channel, so I wasn't doing a bunch. I didn't have a bunch of views or subs or anything like that yet. So this is really the first time us together in this community have had to hang out and talk about a loss. So I don't like this feeling, and I'm sure Michigan doesn't like the feeling in the locker room either. Travis says, I think we need to bring Mara off the bench. He gets into foul trouble way too early. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Dusty May will, especially if they're playing a team with a really good big like Boozer, who's going to create opportunities for foul trouble. I don't know about putting him off the bench, but maybe changing that rotation up and having him play a little less in the first half so that he's be able to be more of a force in the second half. But it's tough because he's when he's on, he's so good and such an integral part of Michigan's offense and the team. It's just tough. It's tough. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Dusty May does when he learns from this too. Oh, and P.S. If you're an NBA fan, the Pistons just beat the Bulls 126-110. How about them Pistons? They're looking good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Dusty May does to adjust, because the players are going to have to learn from this, and so will he. And we'll see what he does. I am interested to see what changes he makes, starting against Minnesota on Tuesday. So yeah, bummer. I keep saying that, but that's all I can think of to say. But that it was electric though. It was pretty fun getting pumped up for it and the beginning. Yeah, I'm curious what's going on with Cheddar. He's just he hasn't been getting very many minutes. I don't know. Not really sure what's up with Cheddar. Not sure why he's not playing. Uh Maximus is here. What's up? Uh yeah, he can be. Well, on shooting for sure. He's usually pretty good running the offense, but he is a streaky shooter. He can get hot and then he can be ice cold. And it can go game to game. You're 100% right. So hopefully he'll get a little more consistency in that area of his game, but he can be. You are 100% correct, my friend. I'm with you, Ray. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. If this is what I always do whenever my teams lose, but they're still having a good year. I think back to myself at the beginning of the year. If you told me that and February 21st, 2026, the year of our Lord, that my Michigan basketball team would be 25-2 and had only lost one Big Ten game and lost a non-conference game to Duke, I'd say, heck yes, please, I will take that all day long. So you just got to put in perspective sometimes. It's still a special season, and this team is still great, and they just have to keep learning. They got to keep learning, and that's what this is going to have to be. You wish that you didn't have to have learning experiences, but when life hands you lemons, I got terrible puns, but it is true. When things go bad, this is when you find out what you're made of, and I think this team is made of a lot. They're made of the good stuff, and they're going to prove it down the stretch. Yeah, lost by 5 to another number one seed. If we lost, yeah, exactly. If we got blown out, I would be concerned. But yeah, I do wonder if they'll be on the opposite side. I feel like they probably would be. So the only way we play them would be in the Natty, and I think we would learn our lesson from playing rebounding terribly. This team is too good to have rebounded as bad as they did tonight, and a lot of that, yes, probably in the second half down the stretch, a lot of that was because Mara was out too. But even Moritz Johnson and Yaxel didn't rebound that great, and everybody was getting beat up on by Boozer. It just I just don't get it. The offensive rebounds are different, right? Sometimes the bounce just goes different, or the bounce goes the other team's way, or he's right under the basket, it comes right back to him. I get it, but on defense, that's what was bothering me, was them not boxing at least him out. He's the only one moving without the ball to go crash the boards. Put a body on him. That should have just been one person's job. Know where he is and box him out. But yeah, didn't happen. Yes, when life gives you lemons, thanks for finishing it for me, Ray. You got to make the lemonade. Michigan's going to make the lemonade, and that's going to be 4-game winning streak down the stretch. I'm calling it now. And then they're going to win the Big Ten regular season and tournament championship, and they're going to go on a big run in the NCAA tournament. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, let me know in the chat real quick. I'm thinking of that's still a couple weeks away, but when we get to that point, I think it'd be fun to do a little community bracket challenge. I got to figure out how to do that. Probably put a link in my description on the channel or something. Announce it in a video, but I think that would be fun. So I have to figure out what the winning prize would be. Maybe some merch that has not been released yet. You get a free Maize and Bluebeard podcast shirt. We'll figure it out. I don't know, but I think that would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. So look for more info about that. There we go. Ray says, "Hail, yes." That's what I'm talking about. So I think that'll be fun. So look forward to that. But yes, Michigan loses 68-63, second loss of the season. When the rankings come out, Duke will definitely be number one. Michigan, I don't know. I would think we'll be number 2 and Arizona 3, but Arizona might hop us. I don't know. We'll see. And yes, Travis, you make a good point here. UCLA's game. Illinois has been a little back and forth. They've looked really good some nights and then very beatable other nights. So they're a team that Michigan should be able to beat if they are focused and do play their way. But if they shoot like they did tonight and are don't and get into foul trouble and don't rebound and get outscored in the paint, this team that's not their game. So, but I don't. But Duke is better than Illinois. I can confidently say that. So I think Michigan, if they play their game, they will beat Illinois for sure. If they would have played their game better tonight, they would have beat Duke. But Duke is good. They earned the win tonight for sure. But it was a fun game. I mean, that's what you love about sports. Like I said, it was the place was rocking. Everybody was hyped about it, and you just have that lovely feeling of unease from the opening tip, where it's just like a huge game, and you're just like, oh gosh, this is going to be a scary game. I know it, and that's what I love about sports. You don't get that anywhere else. And then the camaraderie of us getting to hang out after and talk about the game. And yeah, you guys made me feel better. It's always good to have a community you can share the ups and downs with. And this may be a little valley, a little down, but we'll get back up to the peak. Michigan will get us back there. They'll learn from it for sure. Let's see. Let's take a look at. I'm gonna look. Let's take a look at the Big Ten standings. I want to look at that real quick. Basketball. I did not have that pulled up like I usually do, because our standing didn't change. But I do want to see, going into these last 4 Big Ten games, how we're sitting. What the heck? We'll just do this one. All right, let me zoom in a little before I share my screen so that you can see it good. There we go. Boom, there we go. All right, Big Ten standings right here. We're in first place, of course. Got a 2-game lead on Illinois, so that Illinois game is huge. We win that one, and we're looking really, really good. We lose that one, and things can get a little interesting if we were to get upset in one of the other games. But we beat Minnesota, we're really in a good spot. And then if we can beat Illinois, we're pretty much set for the regular season Big Ten championship. So as you can see, Minnesota's down here, 13-14, 6-10. But it doesn't say it on here, but they beat a couple of very good teams. And in their last few games, let's see if it says it. Streak. What are they doing here? They've won 2 in a row. Lovely. Getting hot. But Michigan they've just had such a great season. And I just trust the veteran leadership in that room and how they love each other to really just hold them together and recover nicely from this. Yep. I was just going to say, if Illinois loses that game that you're talking about with UCLA, then we're really in good shape, because we would have to completely collapse, and Illinois would have to win the rest of their games for them to come out on top, over top of us. So we shall see. We shall see. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Let us know if we're still in here when it goes final, Travis. But yes, again, Michigan loses 68-63, 25-2 now. Still a magical, fantastic year, but just wasn't their night. And sometimes that's how it's going to go. It is getting into the nitty gritty, and we're getting into close to tourney time, and that's when an off night ends your season. So they've got to learn from what they learn. What do they got to do? They need to rebound better, first and foremost. They need to box out. Got to remember the fundamentals, especially when you got a player like Boozer. There's no reason he should be continuously going around our big men and getting rebounds on when we're on defense. It just shouldn't happen. Like I said, there's sometimes the ball will take a crazy bounce and it's not your fault, but that one that was my biggest frustration, was watching them get out rebounded like that, because that's not something this team usually does. But also, yeah, on offense, just when things aren't going good, you're not making your shots. Like, I don't know. I feel like this game I saw more than any other game them just giving up on their usual focus on offense where they move well and share the ball and pass it around and get open shots. Just too many times, just dribble down and just shoot it up, miss it. Dude gets the rebound, back down, and then they have the ball again for a million years. It seems like when they're getting rebound after rebound. But Michigan's got great defense. It keeps them in every game, even a game they're shooting terrible like this, and a game where they're getting controlled on the boards. They're just so talented and have such good defense that they still had a chance all the way down to the end. So that's what gives me hope for this. And yes, I agree. He's one of our best rebounders. And that was why my other key to the game was to not get into foul trouble defending Boozer. And Mara had some ticky tack fouls called on him, which sucked. But I mean, and we got to think too. Like Michigan hasn't had to play a lot of games like this year, where they're going against a team with players that are just as talented as they are, maybe not as deep or as a collective, but having some superstars that are just as good, if not, in some cases better than some of our guys. Boozer's a different level, So they haven't had to deal with that this year. And somebody like Mara, last year for UCLA, he barely played. So this is his first year full time starter. He's young. We got to learn. This is how you learn. You go thrown into games like this, and sometimes they don't go your way. And he's got to learn. And Dusty May's going to help him. He's got to learn how to keep himself out of foul trouble. Some of it's out of his control if the refs make a ticky tack foul, but you got to not put yourself in a spot where you can get those. Like there was one where he was trying to get around Boozer after like a rebound, and Boozer was like either standing on his foot or their ankles were mixed up, and Mara tried to get away and had his hands up, but he ended up getting a foul called on him. Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know. He's gonna help him learn for sure. And yeah, I agree. That's what I can take away. No matter how bad the night went, they did some things wrong. They shot bad, but they were still had a chance to beat a very very good team who's probably going to become a lot of people's favorite now that we've lost to them. Like I said, it's what have you done for me lately? All week long, Michigan. They were talking about media. Everybody, Michigan was the media darling, and now it's going to be Duke, and that's just how it is. But Michigan showed that we can hang in there with anybody, even on a bad night. So that's what's good about this team is most of the time this year, besides today and Wisconsin, of course, but they've shown that if things aren't going well, they can grind it out and get a win. And they showed tonight, even if they're going against a superstar and a really good team, they can hang in there and have a chance, give themselves a chance. They didn't make the shots that they needed or the plays they needed, but they were there to make. And that's something that they need to learn from as well so that next time they can make those. That's a good question, Ray. I don't know. Let me see. Somebody try to Google it. I'm going to try to look too. Referees for Duke Michigan game tonight. Yeah, I don't see which. Yeah, I don't see it. I'll have to look that up because I am interested now. Now that you say that. Normally they say it at the beginning, and I probably would have heard it, but I'm not seeing anything in here. Maybe let me click on the showcase. Maybe it'll talk about who the refs were. Nope, it did not. Nope. All right, I don't want to waste too much time going down that rabbit hole, but ACC, look at that! What a guy answers his own question. Well, that doesn't seem good. If they were ACC refs, especially when it's supposed to be a neutral game on a neutral court, that would be unfortunate. Man, that game's coming down to the wire. Illinois up by one with possession. So they'd have to, even if they make both free throws, Illinois could maybe make a three, or UCLA could make a three, tie it up. But it looks like Illinois is going to probably survive that game. Oh, UCLA has possession. Okay. So they could make a bucket and win. Okay. Interesting. We'll hang around. Let us know what happens, Travis. Oh, bummer. But Michigan's good. What a fun team to watch. And I love the I just love the Mays jerseys. It's my favorite one. I mean, the white and the blue looks great, but I love the Mays. Yeah, I know they were, and that's usually what you get. But it just feels like if you're gonna play at a neutral site, you should bring in like some refs from a totally different conference. But they were. But yeah, I love the Mays jersey. I think they look so sharp. But that did throw me back to those dang games from way back in the day with the Fab Five playing Duke. Oh man, those national championships were so rough. I remember being a kid and staying up and watching them, losing to Duke and North Carolina. Mm. Yeah, well, Michigan travels well, but so does Duke, and that's kind of an area that I mean, I'm not surprised that Duke traveled well there. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up here in a few. We'll wait to see what happens with UCLA. But yeah, overall, Michigan loses, of course, only by 5. Even despite a poor shooting night, terrible rebounding night, and getting outworked in the paint. A lot of that was because of foul trouble to our big men, especially Ademara, who did not play much. So that was definitely a detriment to our rebounding and interior offense and defense. But as bad as we played, Michigan had a chance at the end and couldn't make the plays, couldn't get done. So they lose. Flowers to Duke. They're a good team. They deserve to win. But Michigan showed that they can hang with anybody, and if they're on, they can beat anybody. So we'll come back strong. Oh yeah, there you go. That is true. Mm-hmm. I like that. You're making sense. Oh man, look at that. UCLA wins. What a win for UCLA. Beating Illinois. All right, so yeah, now Michigan's got a 3-game cushion completely in the Big Ten with 4 games to go. That bodes pretty well for a regular season Big Ten championship and the number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which is awesome. Yes, calling timeout when we don't have one by Weber. Oh, ugh. Shot through the heart. And you're to blame, Ray. That one, yeah, I'll never forget. That's an iconic moment. I'll never forget that. Oh man. Yeah, I've always, it's just one of those things you'll always wonder what would have been the play. What would they have done if he knew he didn't have a timeout and they just set it up, just went and tried to score. What would have happened? We'll never know. Yeah, that it would be insane. That's what I mean. We're in pretty good shape because even if Illinois beats us, we'd have to lose the other games, and we're not doing that. So Michigan's in good shape, but it's not over till it's over. So we got to earn it. Go out there and get that first ship, the first of 3 that they have a chance to get. All right. Well, we'll start wrapping it up here, guys. Thank you everybody that hung out in here. You guys are the best. Again, we're working towards 1,000 subs. I think we're right around 700. Let's get to 1,000 so I can dye my beard maize and blue. I'll do a live stream celebration. We'll hang out, and you'll get to see my beard. And then I have a lot of fun things that are gonna roll out once we hit 1,000. So look forward to all of that. And also look forward to doing some NCAA tournament brackets together as a community. Once we get closer to the tourney, I'll put out info about that and we'll do it. It'll be fun. Yeah, that is a bad loss. That is a tough one. Was Illinois home? I'm guessing they were. But yeah, that's gonna hurt their seeding a little unless they go on a roll and were to upset us. But I don't think they will. That's a tough loss. That's a bad one. But that's gonna do it, everybody. Hope you guys had fun just hanging out, talking through this tough loss. But Michigan will be back. They'll be back in action against Minnesota Tuesday night at the Chrysler Center. We'll do another live post game after that game, and hopefully we'll be talking about a great victory, and we'll see what Michigan learned and how they respond. And I think it's going to be very well. I think Dusty May will learn from this. He'll help his team learn from this, and they'll be stronger and they'll be ready for that tournament because now they know what they got to do. They know who they're going to be up against. Teams like this, when you get deep into the tourney, and you got to be on your best game. And if the shots aren't falling, then you better be boxing out and doing everything you can to get advantages in other areas. So everybody have a good night. And I will see you in the next video. And as always,